"911, what's your emergency?"
You have to help us. He's bleeding. Oh my God, Sam!
"Miss, please calm down. Please state the nature of your emergency."
There's been a crash. They're hurt. You have to help them.
"We're dispatching units to your location. Please stay on the line until they arrive."
In a world where regrets are common,
I was ignorant to a lot of little things that nearly cost me my life.
I was scared with a lot of emotions running through me.
When I tell people I'm a survivor, they need to know what made it possible.
Welcome to the Dr. Vine Show, a podcast for people of all ages, highlighting and discussing health and well-being in grand style.
A scientist in Harvard proposed that 60% of adults in the world will be infected with COVID-19. That means 6 out of every 10 adults you meet is at risk of being infected. The model in which he used to make such bold claim cannot be ascertained, but this brings into more focus the need to be properly protected and facilitating preventive measures. We shall discuss face masks, hand gloves, protective clothing, hand sanitizers, role of vitamin C in COVID, and we'll find out if there is any vaccine yet for COVID in the discharge summary.
DICU. Listen to the health topics discussed intensively, the very important topics dissected into details. Get informed, stay informed.
Many governments have made it mandatory that wearing a face mask is a priority while stepping off your door. The question on everyone's lips: which face mask is appropriate for me? I'm guessing you already know the types, but I'll briefly talk about them. The FFP3 face mask, the N95 respirators, the surgical mask, and the cloth mask. N95 respirators offer the maximum level of protection against COVID-19, with its ability to filter off 95% of the air that passes through it. Next on the list is the surgical mask. But in all, any tight-fitting mask around the face is better than none, and so is a bandana or handkerchief tied on the nose. A mask should be able to filter pathogens with size of 0.3 to 1.0 micron in diameter, which the usual size of viruses and bacteria are. If your mask is not the N95 respirator or the surgical mask, you're better off doubling the material of the mask to multiple layers. Now, what is the proper way to wear a mask? Your mouth and nose have to be covered, and there should be no gap between your face and the mask. Avoid touching the front part of the mask, as this is the part that is exposed to the microorganisms that are being exhaled by people. If and when you have to pull off the mask, use the elastic ropes or the thin pads tied to the back to take it off. And this brings me to a very important question. How long should you use a mask before disposing or rewashing it? If it is damp, it is time to dispose it. Once you notice it is wet, it is the proper time to dispose it. Besides that, a new clean face mask every day is the answer. If yours is a cloth mask, then washing it every day is a must. Soak it in bleach for some time before washing it. How does the mask protect you from COVID? A pictogram I saw a few days ago mentioned that if you wore a mask and you have a conversation with somebody infected wearing no mask, your chances of getting infected is as high as 70%. If a COVID-19 carrier, symptomatic or asymptomatic, has a mask on and you don't have one, chances of transmission is 5%. And if both carrier and you have a mask on, chances of transmission is less than 2%. Imagine when you both have no mask on. The aerosols from the carrier's expired air will be inhaled by you, and chances of infection is above 80%. A whopping 80%. This also brings me to the next important point: social distancing. Why is it necessary? The better term for it is physical distancing. Staying at least 6 feet apart or 2 arms length away from another person is the recommended measurement for physical distancing. Why is this also important? Aerosols released when the person near to you coughs or talks will have to travel for less distance on air and fall on surfaces nearby, thereby limiting your exposure. This also means staying far away from crowded places and mass gatherings. The next important part of COVID prevention is hand washing with soap and water, or using an alcohol-based sanitizer. If those aerosols from an infected person fall on surfaces and you touch them, they can easily be transferred to your face and hasten up infection. Another reason why face touching is not advised this period, where these viral particles can have access to the nose. The coronavirus has an outer covering made of lipids and oil. Imagine eating a very oily food and you go to wash your hands with just water alone. What happens? The oil particles still remain on your hands. But when soap is used, the oil layer is chemically dispersed and washing it off is easier with soap. This is the same principle applicable to coronavirus stained hands. Where soap and water is not available, use an alcohol-based sanitizer with alcoholic content of not less than 70%. This strong concentration of alcohol can destroy the virus. Hand gloves protect only you, but is a method of germ transfer from one surface to another surface. Medical personnel are encouraged to wear masks, use personal protective clothing, hand gloves, boots, and a face shield. Proper precautions should also be taken when taking them off. Let's talk about vaccines in the discharge summary.
The discharge summary, your top 5 health prescriptions.
Welcome back to the discharge summary. As medical researchers are working around the clock to develop a vaccine for COVID-19, what do we know so far? What progress has been made? Having a head or mass vaccination with the right vaccine will mean people can go back to living a normal life with lockdowns relaxed. Currently, 80 different groups are researching the vaccine worldwide. The first human trial in the UK is underway. It will take some time before it is ready for commercial purposes, after going through numerous trials. But till then, here are 5 vaccines in quotes you can consider. Number 1, vitamin C. I'll advise frequent intake of vitamin C, as much as 1000 milligrams daily. Vitamin C not only boosts your immune system, but also helps the lining of your respiratory tract to expel trapped invaded foreign bodies in the form of mucus. Point number 2, cover your nose, mouth with a face mask regularly, especially when you're out in public or in a crowded area. The next point, avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth until you've sanitized or you've washed your hands properly with soap and water. And even at that, still resist the urge to touch them. The next point, observe social distancing. Take it very seriously. And to the final point, always stay tuned to the latest developments of COVID-19 and be carried along with the development of vaccines. Always check back on the podcast. I'll be updating the latest developments on the vaccine production. Till then, when we have a vaccine, stay safe and protect yourself.
You are listening to the Dr. Vine Show, the most educative show on the planet.